Trevs Show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Continuing on with reacting to my division predictions. It's a better way to call it, I think. And now we're in the Metropolitan Division. And as always, the top three is always strong. It's when you get to the wild card that's either strong or it's not. And this year it really wasn't when it came to the wild card, but your top three, strong as ever. Again, much like the Central, 1 point difference. But we're going to go over my picks from worst to first, line them up with how the season actually went, and I'll give you my thoughts into what I was thinking, if I was thinking, when I made my picks as to who was falling where. As far as accuracy, well, I only got one right. But anyway, let's talk about it. So if you want to check out my division predictions video for the Metropolitan Division, follow that link or hang on for about 30 seconds and we'll go over who I picked from worst to first. And it goes a little bit something like this. I picked the Flyers to finish 8th because forget the Flyers. That's the easiest way to put it without having to throw up a censor. Forget the Flyers. I picked the Islanders to finish 7th. Yeah, I thought new coach, new structure, things would have changed. I picked the Devils to finish 6th. I think it was more just because I thought there was 5 teams better than New Jersey. I picked the Caps to finish 5th. I wanted to put them 4th, but injuries at the beginning of the season was like, yeah, especially with Backstrom being out most of the season to start. So I think my thinking was 5th was probably the right spot. I picked the Penguins to finish 4th. Not so much in the hopes that they'd make the playoffs, because the last thing I wanted is the Penguins to make the playoffs. But more so in the sense of if they could be competitive with their core getting old. I picked the Blue Jackets to finish 3rd because I wasn't smart and I didn't think things through. I thought Gaudreau and Laine were going to connect like magnets. We'll talk about that. I picked the Rangers to finish 2nd. I thought the rebuild was done. I thought the younger kids were going to start to come up. The kids like Kako, Lafreniere, Hedl, guys like that. Thought it was about that time. And then I picked Carolina, not just to win the division, but to win the President's Trophy. Well, we'll talk about that, I guess. So here's how the Metro actually lined up from worst to first. Columbus, finishing 8th. Ouch. Philadelphia wasn't far ahead. And then Washington finished 6th. Yeah, the injuries caught up, and it hurt. Pittsburgh finished 5th, missing the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. Important note, Washington missed the playoffs for the first time in 9. So almost kind of mirroring one another. The Islanders made the playoffs, which is good. The Rangers, of course, made the playoffs, but also finished in the top 3 in the Metro. Again, the competitiveness between 4 and 5 for that wild card. Then you see the difference from 3 to 1. Jersey finished with 112 points. Big difference compared to last year. And then Carolina won the division, but didn't win the President's Trophy. They were 2nd in the league, though. But the difference between 1 and 2, 1 point. So that's your Metropolitan Division as it finished up. Philadelphia, but Columbus. Let's talk about it. The Jackets finished 8th in the Metro, last in the Eastern Conference, and I picked them to finish 3rd. I don't know what I was thinking. Again, I thought Laine and Gaudreau were going to connect. I didn't think Laine was going to miss significant time because of injury. I didn't think Werenski was going to go out with an injury. But they did, and the team never recovered from either one, even when Laine came back. It'd be interesting to see what happens going into next season. If they're going to get a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical, or if it's going to be the same kind of team that hits the ice. And if so, it's going to be bad. But either way, second best chance at Connor Bedard come the draft. See what happens. Flyers finished 7th, and I picked them to finish 8th because I don't like the Flyers. Plain simple. But the best thing to happen to Philly was getting rid of Chuck Fletcher. Even if it meant bringing in Daniel Briere on an interim basis, which I'm sure will turn into a full-time gig. But what that means is that term that Fletcher never wanted to use, that rebuild word, it's in full effect. I guarantee that some of the big names on this team won't be there next season. It'll be a completely all new look Flyers. And I think that's what this team needs, is a new identity from scratch. Let's see what happens from that. Capitals finished 6th, and for the first time missed the playoffs in 9 years. I picked them to finish 5th. They're going to do a little bit better. I thought Ovi would carry the team as far as he could, as well as he could, for as long as he could, while still chasing 894, which we'll make a separate video on that as well. But with the injuries to Wilson and with Backstrom, both of them being as long as they were, and Oshie really trying to fill the void, but then Carlson got hurt, things didn't look good for the Caps. But next year's a completely different season. Ovi will still be on the chase to 894, and will still be along to watch. I mean, Father Time has not hindered him at all. Still scoring 40 goals, and he's 38. See what happens in the next 3 years. Penguins finished 5th, but more importantly, missed the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. What a beautiful sight that is. So long as these three are tethered to that club, their success rate rests with them. Their cupboards are almost dry. They have no real draft picks to come up to speak of. They're relying on the older guys between those three, Jeff Carter, who just cannot produce as well as they used to. I mean, yeah, Crosby's still getting you close to 90 points, but Letang's still a glass house. I mean, he gets hurt more often than he plays. So how much longer can that last? And you sign him to 6 years. It's a good thing Hextall's gone, right? See what this team looks like next season. It could be better or worse. But remember, things get worse before they get better. So the Islanders finished 4th, and I had them finishing 7th. Just goes to show the parity of this league. I thought, my thinking was, they'd just be resting on last season, and the season that it was being as extensive on the road for them, and the bad luck that came with everything. But they turned it around quite nicely. Like, it's become Sorokin's show, which is a great thing. But you got Cizikas, you got Anders Lee, you got Bo Horvat, who they got out of Vancouver earlier in the season. Plus a wild card spot. And yeah, it's against Carolina, but that's beside the point. It's an exciting time for the Islanders, getting back in the playoffs in a new building. And the fans are coming out in droves, so that's a great thing too. Expect more of the same, I would think, for the next season. That's just my take on the Islanders anyway. Like, they're always on the cusp of just breaking that Eastern Conference final hurdle. See what happens. New York Rangers finished 3rd. I had them finishing 2nd. But they did finish with over 100 points. That's the important thing. I mean, they were already good prior to the 2 big trades they made in the season, picking up Vladimir Tarasenko from St. Louis and Patrick Kane from Chicago. Granted, they're both probably on a rental basis. They were already good before that. Picking up those two, I mean, it will help in the playoffs, one would hope anyway. Because we don't know how well rentals work. But even if they don't, the Rangers are set up for success for at least a couple more seasons. They're an exciting team to watch, and they can score when they want to. So either way, they're dangerous every time they're on the ice. It's just a matter which Rangers team you end up getting. But I'll tell you this, their playoff series against New Jersey is going to be intense. And I'm here for all of it. New Jersey finished second. I had them going sixth. I didn't believe the system of Hughes and Hischier was actually going to connect the way it did, but oh my goodness, did it ever connect. And just think, they were one Carolina loss away from first in the division. But their turnaround, probably one of the biggest turnarounds in league history. But yeah, between Hughes, Hischier, the sky's the limit. I mean, those two are the two that carry him. I mean, yeah, Timo Meier is a great pickup from San Jose, but the future rests on Hughes and Hischier. They keep playing the way they're playing. Defense keeps shutting things down. Net keeps everything out. Jersey could be scary good for years. And I'm not just talking a handful of years. I'm talking a lot of years. Be fun to watch. So the only one I got right in this division was Carolina, winning the division, that is. Of course, I also picked them to win the President's Trophy, and that turned out so well. They fell to Boston second in almost every category. Placement and goals against. I think Boston had a 36-goal edge on them, which is unheard of. While they didn't finish with less than 200 goals against, they finished second in goals against, which means their defense is strong as hell. And that's believable. Now, whether everybody's healthy and strong enough for a playoff run is another question. But it'll be fun to watch either way. I mean, whether they make it out of the first round or not, because I imagine if they don't, it'll be a fight to the finish in that first round for Carolina to advance. But either way, Carolina is going to be an exciting team to watch for years. So let me know how your division picks went. And feel free to laugh at mine, because I only got one right in this one. It gets worse. No, which is hockey shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you made it to this point. It'd be a great thing if you did. And so if you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you were here. Even if you just like what I'm doing, or just want to say hi, give me a thumbs up. That red button that says subscribe all over it, you know you want to. Let's do it up. It'll make you feel good. We're going to 250. Let's get that happening. That social I never use, it's in the description down below. So moving forward, I got one more video tonight. Tomorrow, I'll give you my playoff predictions. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, you look for some Trev. Later.